Hello everybody! We are going to move in a month, and I've talked about this on other videos if you follow this channel, but I don't like moving food when we move, particularly loose ingredients like flour. So I've got some wheat flour that I'd like to get rid of, and I was remembering a recipe, something that I used to make a lot when I was in my early 20s, but I have not made it in years. So I'm going to try to make it now and attempt to recreate it. Anyway, I've got a cup of whole wheat flour here. I've never used a recipe when I make this, I just wing it. So I'm just adding a little healthy pinch of salt. And I'm just going to start adding water until this comes together like a dough and looks right. If you have seen my flour tortilla video, it's for a version of a flour tortilla that's very simplified. It's literally just flour, salt, and water or milk. There's no leavening, there's no fat like there is in more proper flour tortillas. Anyway, it's kind of the same thing, except there's all whole wheat flour instead of white flour. So I'm mixing it with a spoon. This is one of those things you just kind of get better at as you do it more. You can get a feel for how much moisture your dough needs. In general, it's better to have too much water than too little, because it's a lot easier to add flour than it is to add water. I'm just going to get a feel for this. This feels just about right, actually. So I think that was about a half a cup of water that I put in. Anyway, yeah, I used to make this a fair amount when I was in my early 20s because I was poor. I was poor most of my adult life. But yeah, I was a starving college student then. Not starving, just, didn't really have disposable income. But I did have some time on my hands to cook. And I used to make my own very bad homemade corn tortilla chips because I didn't know you had to use a tortilla press to really make good masa tortillas. And so I'd mix it 50-50 with masa mix and white flour. So it would be, it would have enough gluten that I could roll it out like regular tortilla. And I would make chips out of that. They were okay. They just weren't proper corn tortilla chips. And then I thought, oh, what if I made that out of this wheat flour that I have lying around extra? Yeah, this is pretty good. It's come together. Now I'm going to just knead it a little bit on the countertop. Whole wheat flour does proportionally have less gluten just because of all the wheat germ, the fiber that gets in the way. So it does not behave quite the same way as white flour does. I'm mostly just kneading it a little bit to make sure that the flour is all hydrated and it comes together. I don't really need to develop a bunch of gluten, I don't think. I didn't really know about developing gluten when I used to make these, so, that's it. That's my little ball of dough. I'm going to let this rest for about, 30 minutes so that it'll be easier to roll out. Okay, here's my rested dough. I put it on some flour, as you can see. So I'm just going to break off some pieces of this. Probably break this into fourths. And these are rustic homemade chips, so they don't have to be perfect. I'm just going to roll out one of these circles. Again, it's been 15 years, maybe 20 years since I've made these. So I don't actually remember how I used to make these. Incidentally, you can just roll these out like this, like I did this one just now, and then not fry, not in oil, but just cook it in a cast iron skillet on medium heat for about 2 minutes per side, and it makes a nice quick little healthy flatbread. I did that in the super cheap $40 grocery video series that I did 5 years ago now. Those are so outdated now. I doubt you could do that on $40 anymore, the way prices have been going. Okay, I'm really bad at estimating, thicknesses with millimeters and stuff, but maybe you can see it's pretty thin, but it's not super, 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 super thin. And because I'm doing this on a countertop, I'm going to use a butter knife to cut this into pieces. So, you could cut it into quarters. I think I might do that. Make really big chips. These are very big. That's okay. Ta-da! I will do the same with the rest of the dough. And keep using more flour as needed. In the meantime, I have a little heavy-bottomed, shallow skillet thingy with some oil heating in it. I don't know, probably about an inch of oil. You don't need very much because these are very thin chips. And I'm waiting for it to get to about 350 degrees. My poor camera just does not focus. I really need a new camera. It is about 150 degrees now. I will come back when I have the rest of these rolled. Okay, I cut them all into chips. The rest of the 3 circles I cut into 6 chips each. So I've got 22 chips total. The oil is still not quite to temperature, but it's almost there. While it's finishing coming into temperature, I'm going to make a very quick little dipping sauce. I remember I used to dip these in plain yogurt. Just plain yogurt. I mean, sometimes I'd grate some cucumber in there too. Make sort of a, not really tzatziki. Anyway, this is just some plain Greek yogurt. This is the rest of a container I happen to have. I'm going grocery shopping in a couple days, so pickings are a little slim. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in here just to make it even more tangy. And a little bit of salt. And I'm going to grate some raw garlic in there, because I'm already married. And one last thing I'm going to do in preparation is I've got a little bit of this is just table salt. I'm going to give it just a very quick little grind. I've been doing this when I make popcorn as well. It makes a really nice finer salt that just adheres to things a little bit better. I'm going to finish the chips with this salt. Okay, the oil is okay now, so let's fry some of these. When I used to fry these chips, I used to be scared of deep frying. So, I mean, this isn't even technically deep frying, it's shallow frying. But if it's something like chips, these go so quickly. But yeah, I used to do this in a skillet with just a little bit of oil. Look at that, look how nicely they're puffing up. But yeah, you probably only need about 2 minutes total for these chips. Whenever I'm frying chips, I find chopsticks are just one of the best tools to take them out. And hit it with that salt that I made and fry up some more. Okay, I had a couple of these off camera and they are quite delightful. Now I'm going to try one with the dip on camera. I hope you heard that crunch. The dip definitely makes these so much better, takes them up a notch. I served them with some baby carrots, just for a little added nutrition. So yeah, I definitely need to add these back into the rotation. I don't know why I stopped making them. Maybe there was too much of a hassle for me to make, but I really like them. While these chips are definitely not the healthiest thing you could eat, they're also not the least healthy thing you can eat. And I say, you know, compared to a bag of Doritos or potato chips or something, these are probably a lot better for you. And they're extremely cheap. You know, flour is one of the cheapest things you can buy. And whole wheat flour, like actual whole wheat flour, it does have some nutrients to it. You could also customize these chips to your liking. You could add all kinds of spices, like cumin might be really nice in there. You could add sesame seeds. You could make a sweet version and sprinkle them with like cinnamon sugar. You can do all different kinds of dips too. I really think it goes well with yogurt dip, but I mean, you could do a salsa or even a cheese sauce maybe if you wanted. That would definitely make it less healthy, but you know. Yeah, these are going back into my rotation at least. If my husband likes them, that will be even better. And I hope you guys give this a try if you've got the time. It's a really cheap, tasty, delightful snack. Bye-bye.